Well, it's Friday. I mean, on Friday we talk about sport. Kent is here, not because you're not seeing him. Say hi, Kent.
They
A
can't
little
hear you,
louder,
can't
a
hear. Let's
little
say it with your
louder.
chest.
All right, he's going to join us on set. But on today's episode of Playground to Podium, we continue our discussion on training for performance. Well, we are going to be talking about training for performance and the use of performance enhancers with sports scientist, exercise physiologist Marissa Gibson Bailey. Good morning, Marissa.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Okay,
DJ Rockets. Good morning, Kent.
Good morning.
you know the whole, the whole
The whole crew.
Yes.
That's so
Marissa,
amazing.
before we get into our topic for today, I want to talk to you as a teacher, and you've worked with a number of young people from what we call on the show at potential communities, and I know you have a strong opinion with regard to how sports can be used as an alternative for these young people. Tell me what are your views on this?
Lisa, we all know what the benefits of sport are. It's a long list. And I think, firstly, it's proper programming. Great sports programming to capitalize on these benefits that we all know that sports bring, whether it is communication, leadership, right, physical health. I think programming sports using a human capital model, because we know human capital model could have capital gains in terms of physical, emotional, individual, social, intellectual, and financial gains. I think with that comprehensive approach and proper planning of knowing the benefits of sport to get into these communities to assist these at-risk youths. It's I just want to go back to the assumption of the human capital model, which assumes the competencies and skills and knowledge can be acquired by participating. So I think it's not good enough just knowing what sports could do, but actually utilizing this tool to its very extent of that you could actually see the outcome. It's not no wish-wash program where you just give them a sports program, whatever. Use the tool as it is designed and plan properly. Proper planning, comprehensive planning. I think you're going to be able to get the results that is so desired.
Yes, because I know you've seen what it can do, especially with some of your students, yeah?
Yes. Sharpen pertinent life skills.
Yes.
The capacity to, you see, it's learning beyond sport. You're using sport as a tool, but it's beyond that. When you acquire these skills, the idea is that these skills that you've learned during the period is to transform it and to translate it into life experiences. Are we seeing that? And this is just moving away from the at-risk, but in normal sport programming, it's the quality of the programming and the consistency of it is what's going to bring the results that we require.
All right, so let's talk about our topic for today, because I know we can continue speaking about that for the entire morning. But this morning we're talking about performance enhancers as well as ergogenic aids. What are ergogenic aids?
Well, Lisa, there's so many definitions, but I'm going to give you this textbook one. It's a work-producing substances, and we feel most of the times we think that ergogenic aids are related just to substances, but it's not. It's like devices or even a phenomena believed to increase performance enhancing, right? So in most cases, we believe it's substances, and that is because it's what most of the athletes would use, but it could be a device. It could be a phenomena. For example, examples of ergogenic aids, for example, warm-ups, hypnosis, stress management, blood doping, oxygen inhalation, breathing, muscle and extrinsic biomechanical aids, drugs, nutrients. These are different types of ergogenic aid. Anything that helps, let me be careful in saying anything, but that helps enhance performance, enhances your sport performance. And that is what we want to be able to look at today.
Okay, so anything that helps performance, but who should really take them, and what are some common examples uh, so a relatable example, someone returning to the gym after not working out, for example, during the quarantine period, and they're in poor condition. They may not want to wait to get back to form, right? They might want to fast track their fitness process. Carrie, is that you? Is that a good
Well,
example of
it's
someone who might want to use an
mm,
ergogenic aid? Give us how it
um
works.
the the thing is first of all, you don't ever want to fast track any of your fitness goals, because at the end of the day, you don't want to put your entire physiological wiring out of spiral. You want to make sure that your health remains intact. Um, for athletes who, for example, have that ultimate goal, obviously competing in the Olympics, where you have that 1% of either breaking a world record. And you have to be very careful because most of these athletes who are the pinnacle of their sport are usually surrounded by a very comprehensive team. And they work with this in incorporating this in their training program and actually periodizing this in their training program. So they're very careful as to how they're doing that, in addition to the fact that you do not want to be violating any of the World Anti-Doping Agency's policies, right? My advice to active adults and competitive athletes is that first of all, you have to, especially if you're talking about nutritional nutrients or fluid recommendations, is that you need to consume adequate energy during your periods of high intensity
Mm-hmm.
or duration, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to get your nutrients from a wide range of sources. And firstly, you have to consult with your sport dietitian or your sport nutritionist. Because how do you know that you need that? How do you know that you're not getting enough nutrients and minerals and vitamins from the foods that you consume? And sometimes they do have bad eating habits. So you have to consult with these persons before you actually take, whether it's anybody actively involved, you don't have to be playing sport at the highest pinnacle, you're just being active. You have to consult with these two professionals, a sport nutritionist and a sport dietitian.
Are you speaking only to elite athletes here, or are you talking about the general population?
I'm talking about the general population as well as the elite athletes.
Okay.
That before you engage in ergogenic aids, specifically those that deals with nutrition
Mm-hmm.
and nutrients, you have to consult first with a sport nutritionist and or a sport dietitian, because first you have to know your current nutritional status. How
Mm-hmm.
do you know that you need ergogenic aid, and at what level are you competing that you think that it is necessary,
Okay.
right?
Now, Marissa, can I dial back a bit? Because I know
Sure.
for the persons like Kent and Carrie who are sporting buffs, you say
Right.
ergogenic aids and they immediately know what you're speaking about. And I know
Right.
and you're talking about nutrition now. So
Right.
as someone who is out there and you just want to be fit, but you may go to the gym and they tell you you need a fat burner, for example, or
Is
some
that you
sort of
need
vitamin. Are we
no
talking the same thing?
usually what I observe is that there are a lot of creatine, amino acids, protein, and all of that.
Right.
And I'm saying that one, the amount,
Mm-hmm.
is it necessary? Is it going to bring value to you?
Right.
Or is it going to be detrimental? Because when you consume too much protein, you put a lot of work, or you give a lot of work to your liver, your kidneys, and all these things to get rid of these substances that is not purely. Remember, when you manufacturing these products, it's
Yes.
not just pure. There are other substances that are not very um, beneficial to the human body. And
Yes.
this is something that you have to be very careful of. You have to know exactly what your task is and what is the goal of taking these things,
Right.
right?
Right.
Most of the times you do it because you look buffed and pumped. But at the end of the day, what damage are you doing and is it necessary? How many of our gym goers actually access the service of sport nutrition, or not even sport nutritionists, but general nutritionists
Yes.
or dietitians, to find out what their general um, what to say nutritional status is, so that you could have guidance as to um, how your nutrition should take off after that, given the fact
Okay.
that you engage in physical activity.
Okay, I understand. You clearly now, Doctor, well, no, not doctor, scientist. You're a scientist. You sounded like a doctor there, but you're a sports scientist and exercise physiologist trained for 6 years, I believe, in Cuba and
Mm-hmm.
at the Olympic site in New Jersey. So you come highly trained, and we
Tennessee.
appreciate the fact that you
Thank
spend your
you.
Friday mornings with us for this
Yes.
segment called Podium, Playground to
Beyond the
Podium, which
podium.
we really appreciate you. I want to thank you so much, Marissa Gibson Bailey,
Thank
for
you.
joining us this morning. I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday.
Okay.
All right.